Don't just stand there, do something. Hi, I'm Rev Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind. Now, don't just stand there, do something is indicative of today's society. You know, today we live in a society where the prevailing preference for how our lives go is what the mental health community calls an action bias. Now, mental health community, by mental health community, I mean the psychologists, the psychiatrists, sociologists, and others who study the way we think and act. And by action bias, I mean that we as a society have become so action-oriented that we dismiss anything that doesn't involve action. We worship action. We love action movies, we love action figures, we love action heroes, we love taking action, we love legal action. We're surrounded by the concept of action. Trouble is, we're so busy being in action that we often find ourselves being out of control. And we don't really get anything done, especially when it comes down to taking care of our well-being, our health. Our action-oriented lives are leading us down the path of heart attacks, high blood pressure, ulcers, digestive problems, anxiety, headaches, chronic stress. We have allowed ourselves to become addicted to action, and it has pushed us from a state of human being to human doing, and it has cost us dearly in terms of our health, in terms of our peace of mind, in terms of love and relationship and happiness. Please click on the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. And remember, I do look forward to hearing your comments, thoughts, questions. Use the chat box on the right side of the screen, or use the comment section if you're looking at this video in rerun. Okay, so we're action-oriented, but I invite us to take another look at, or to try another method. Let's reverse human doing into human being. As spiritual warriors, one of the first things we learn is that jumping into physical action is the last step, not the first step. I was watching a movie yesterday entitled The Gentleman. It's the latest movie from the film director Guy Ritchie. In one scene, a low-level gangster is being questioned by a couple of men who had caught him doing some hostile act. And they'd had him tied up, but they untied him because he said he couldn't breathe. He had asthma. So they untied him, and they found his inhaler, his breather, and they gave it to him so he could have a puff and clear his lungs. So what does he do right after he clears his lungs? He immediately takes off running, and he leaps over this low wall that's in front of him. They try to warn him, no, don't jump over that wall, but he ignores them, and he jumps over the wall. Well, on the other side of the wall is a railroad track, and he gets hit immediately by a commuter train, killing him. So, as I said, one of the first things we learn as a spiritual warrior is that jumping into physical action is the last step, not the first step. Instead, we learn to stop, look, and listen. Step one, stop. Stop. Because jumping into action without knowing what confronts you can bring you harm. Even when facing a wild animal in the woods, running may not always be the best course of action. So stop. Step two, look. Take the time to look at what confronts you. Look around. Look and see what's there. It's here that our minds are our biggest enemy. Our minds are screaming, do something. Don't just stand there. Do something. You got to do something. You got to do something. Our minds are rattling off all the things that could go wrong. But they usually don't. Our minds are chattering, and projecting fear images. But there's so many times in life when the right thing to do is nothing. Nothing. Pause. Pause before you leap, because quite often the terrible things that we fear are going to happen never actually happen. We've all heard the phrase, stop and smell the roses. Well, it's not just about flowers. It's an instruction on how to live life by taking on a deeper appreciation of all that is going on around you. You know, there's an old Zen parable that I'd like to share. Once upon a time, a man was walking in the woods. And as he was looking around, he saw, hiding in the bushes, a tiger waiting to pounce. So he immediately took off running, and he heard the tiger behind him lunge and began chasing after him. So he ran and he ran. He was running for his life, and the tiger was close behind. And then he hit the edge of a cliff, and he saw hanging off the cliff were vines, and he grabbed the strong vine, and he threw himself over the edge of the cliff, clinging to the vine. And so he's hanging there, and he's looking up, seeing the tiger pacing back and forth, trying to figure out how to get to this man who's hanging there, because he's hungry and he wants to eat him. So he's safe. He takes a deep breath, and then he looks down, and to his horror, he sees there's another tiger waiting below for him to come down. So he's got a tiger above, a tiger below, and he's hanging there on his mind. And then he looks up, and just above him, he sees a couple of mice come out of a crack in the side of the cliff, and they began chewing on the vine that he is clinging to for dear life. Tiger above, tiger below, two mice gnawing at his vine that he's hanging on. But at that moment, he looks to his left and he sees that there on the left, growing out of a clump of dirt, is a strawberry bush. Some rich red strawberries are growing there. So he grabs one. He grabs a big one, and he looks at it, and it's beautiful and it's red, and he takes a bite of it, and it is amazing. The flavor burst onto his taste buds like, wow, wow. It was the most delicious strawberry he had ever eaten. So what's the symbolism of this story? Well, the symbolism is actually quite powerful. The tiger at the top represents his past. The tiger at the bottom represents his future. And the mice represent time, ticking away, gnawing away. And the only thing that we truly have is that strawberry, which is the present moment. The present moment. Savor it. Don't lose it by dwelling on the past and fearing what might happen in the future. Dwelling on the past, what could have been, what threatened you in the past, versus what's waiting for you in the future. But somewhere in between there is now. Now. Right now. The strawberry. Rich, red, succulent. Savor what is before you right now. Eckhart Tolle, who is the author of the best-selling book, The Power of Now, says, Realize deeply that the present moment is all you have. Make now the primary focus of your life. Make now the primary focus of your life. And that brings us to step 3. Listen. Listen to that still, small voice within. It is the voice that sees all and knows all. Maybe it can tell you something you weren't expecting. Maybe it can give you some insight that you never thought of. Listen to that small voice within. But the only way you can hear it is if you stop. And you get quiet. And you relax. And you pay attention to what is happening now. So how do you do that? Well, you take a few minutes out of your day to stop and smell the roses. To allow yourself to be open to infinite intelligence, stop and smell the roses. The best times are in the morning when you wake up or at night when you go to bed. Take the time to be quiet, contemplate, and listen. Be open. Don't dwell on the problems of the day. Be open. Don't focus on the goals that have to be accomplished. Be open. Just stop and allow yourself to contemplate the beauty that surrounds you. Because there's always beauty. There is always beauty. I can look out of my office window and see the beautiful red and gold colors of an autumn day in New York State. Beauty. Be open. Allow yourself to appreciate the gifts you have received, because they are always gifts. One of my gifts is that I have grown to an age that surpasses my parents by several years so far. Yet I'm so much younger than they were when they died. I'm so much younger than they were at their age. Be open. Allow yourself to witness the things around you that have nothing to do with work or bills or insults or grudges or missed opportunities or action. Be open. Be open and allow yourself to appreciate and be healed by your appreciation. Stop, look, and listen. It will make your mind stronger. It will make your mind more creative. It will make your mind more peaceful. And when it comes down to it, isn't that what you really want? Let's close with prayer. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence. Thank you for bringing all of us together in this life so that we may become spiritual warriors and join in the work we have come here to do. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who and what we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we are beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. As we are becoming channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives every day, more and more. And we know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise, because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain that we have caused to ourselves, And as we learn to forgive those who inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this, we are truly grateful. As above, so below. As within, so without. And so it is. Amen. Please, click on the thumbs up button. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Remember, I'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments, your questions. If you can use the chat box on the right or the comment section below when you're watching this in rerun. I want to thank you very much for watching. And remember, I am Rev Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind.